Welcome to this acrylic painting. I'm Mike Ferris. In today's lesson, I'm going to show you how I do this glowing wave with the surfer in the barrel. And it looks advanced, but trust me, it's super easy. And even if you're a beginner, this is something you can totally pull off, as I'm going to be going over it step by step. So grab your materials and let's jump in. Alrighty, I'm going to be getting started on my 11 by 14 inch stretch canvas here, and the image already laid out. As you can see here, I used wax transfer paper to transfer my image from the Traceable, which is available down in the description box if you'd like to trace this out beforehand, and also a list of colors and materials. And I have a short video on how I transfer images to my canvas using wax transfer papers I've done here. So on my palette, I'm going to start with some raw umber, burnt umber, phthalo blue, violet, permanent red. This is light magenta, cat orange, yellow medium, and titanium white as always. So I'm going to take my 3/4 angle brush here. This is good for getting around things. I'm going to start up here in the sky background here and put some general values down. And I'm going to start off with a little bit of red. And let's get some violet to that. Okay, just kind of something maybe like that. A little bit of raw umber to kind of dull that back a little bit. Okay, maybe a little bit more violet. And now just a teeny bit of titanium white just to kind of bring that up just a bit. Okay, and I'm thinking just something like that, a general value. This is just blocking stages. This isn't final color. I'm just going to start applying it liberally up here up top. Okay, just kind of getting something like this for the sky to start with. All right. Now let's see, without cleaning, I want to take a little bit of phthalo blue and I want to take some titanium white. Okay, a little bit too much blue there. Let's get more white to that. All right, something like this, perfect. I want to get some of the sky showing. Just a little bit of that color, kind of right up in here, see that? And I just kind of want to blend it out. Just very light pressure with the brush and I can blend these very nice. Okay, it just kind of gives a hint of some sky happening there. Okay, a little bit more color there. There we go. Okay, and of course, if I get too much color into here, I'll just take this color and I'll go back over it and cover it up and blend it into this. And I can play it back and forth until I get my colors and blends where I want them to land. All good, never a mistake. You can always change it. Take colors and play them back on top or whatever you want to do. Maybe a little bit of red here. I just kind of want to get sort of this more reddish kind of color into this violet that gives me more of a what's called a deep violet. And just kind of changing up the variation a little bit. I'm thinking something in here. Okay, you can kind of see I can knock that blue back just a little bit. Okay, and it kind of gives me a little bit of a difference in here. Not much, just a subtle little difference. Okay, and I actually want to get a little bit more red. Okay, no cleaning. And let's see. Because this paint is still wet, I can actually blend this red in and make it more natural and settle down with everything instead of having it just kind of stick out like it's just kind of out of place. So just a little bit, see, of maybe some cloud action in the background here. I can even use my finger if it gets away from me and gets too heavy in some places. All good. You can finger paint in the acrylic world. All good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush off now. Okay, with a clean brush now, I'm going to take some of this yellow cat orange here. I'm going to take a little bit of burnt umber to that to dull that down a bit. Okay, just kind of looking for kind of a dulled down, kind of orangey, with a little hint of brown in it kind of color here. Okay, I'm thinking something like that. And just want to start applying that, maybe something like this. Okay, again, I just want to get color on the canvas so that I can work with it, build on top of it, all that good stuff. Okay, so I started down here where I wanted the color the heaviest. And then as I come up here with paint left on the brush, which is just a little bit left, it makes it easier to take that little bit of paint left and see that crisscross stuff that I did with that violet. I can crisscross this up into those other crisscross marks, and this blends super well. And I'll tell you, sometimes I think people make a big deal about blending acrylic paint, and I've even seen some tutorials that I feel like make a bigger deal about it than it should be. It's not as hard as it seems with acrylics. I know oils is really easy, you don't really have to do much, but I'm telling you, acrylics is not too hard. You just kind of take a little bit of paint, creep it up over the other color, and as it dissipates off, it makes it look like it's doing that blending and gives that nice gradient. See, just kind of something like this, it's all good. And I can even blend it down like this. Okay. However, and what I'm going to do now without cleaning, I do want some of the brown in my brush just to kind of dull it down a bit. I'm going to take some yellow and I want to warm this up. Give that more vibrant orange here. Okay. I'm thinking something like that. No cleaning necessary to my brush. And you can see how much more vibrant this is than that. And exactly what I want to do is I come down to the horizon where the sun's going to be really beaming through. I want to get progressively more warm and brighter. So just going to add that yellow. And again, crisscrossing and blending up into that darker orange here. Giving that nice gradient, okay? Blending acrylics, no big deal. And again, like I said, because it's so forgiving with acrylics, because they dry so quick, and like I said, if you go too far with a color, you can just take that other color that you went into and come back the other way because they dry so quick, and apply the same methods. And I'm telling you, eventually it's going to work and your blend is going to look awesome. And people might even think that you did it in oil. And it's all good. No big deal. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and again crisscross, and you can see very light pressure with the brush. Okay, I'll go into my wave a little bit. It's okay. So transparent, I can still see the line of my traceable here. And again, check out that traceable. That really helps to support me. It's only $3 a month. You get access to all traceables for $3 a month. You don't have to pay every time for each traceable. You can use or choose any one you want to all the videos. I have several in there, and they're great. They really help to map out everything beforehand, so you can just get right to the color mixing and apply the values where they go and really have fun. And you can follow me to a T that way. And again, it helps to support me, and I do appreciate all of you so very much. So thank you again. And of course, you can cancel anytime. Okay, so you can see all that broken up stuff here. Not going hard line. Again, it's easier to blend into stuff when it's not hard. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and wipe most of that color off my brush, because what I want to do now is, with some of that orange left, I want to get some yellow. Okay, and I want to do this. Okay, a little bit of that brown left because I need that for the dulling effect, just because it gives more realism that way. And as you can see, lighter and more warm than this as we get down here. Totally what I want to do. And of course, I'm going to put clouds on this. So some of this hard line stuff that you see that got in here, all good. I'm going to cover that up with some cloud effects with some different values. Okay, don't worry about your acrylics. If it's a mess at first, it's supposed to be. If your lines are all weird, if it's all painterly, and if you've got, maybe some gaps that won't fill in, let it be what it wants. Let it do what it wants. It's all good. Acrylic paint gets better with each layer, and it doesn't have to be, a masterpiece that first layer. In fact, it's not supposed to be, and it's not going to be, because acrylics is just not set up with the pigment that it is to work like that. And being that we understand that, there's no more frustration, because it's all about understanding how everything should be. So as you can see, a nice little sky start here. We got the nice little blue and lavender colors, a little bit of brown to dull stuff down, a little red in there to kind of mix it up a bit, and then just getting progressively warmer and lighter as we come down. So with a clean brush now, I just want to take a little bit of yellow, and I want to take some white. Okay, just kind of something like that. The white helps it so it's not so opaque. Or I'm sorry, not so transparent. because white is very opaque and it helps to lay down the color really well. Okay, this is exactly what I want, just like this. And I just want to go up to my line here just to kind of show me where this really bright, vibrant kind of rolling cloud is going to be. Okay, and I'll just apply this here as well. Super transparent still. I can see my traceable through this. I'm just going to cover this whole area here. I'll start separating things with cloud effects and different values, but just getting that base color for now. Okay, and no cleaning. I just want to take some orange now and yellow, maybe a little bit of red. And let's see, I want to go something like this, a nice firecracker color. That's perfect. All right, and let's see, let's go in here with that. And I'm going to make these little swirly things like this with the corner of the brush, just to kind of get it laid in, about right where this line is here. Okay, that's going to be some cloud stuff happening there. I don't know. Or maybe some of the water, actually. All right. So something like that, I'm thinking. And I'm going to go ahead and clean this again. Okay, now I've got a number 8 natural round bristle brush. These natural bristles are super awesome for making cloud effects. And that's exactly what I want to go do now on here. And so what I'd like to do with this is grab a little bit more of this violet. So I'm going to take some of that with some red. I want to take some magenta, or light magenta, I should say. Okay, let's get some white. I'm looking for kind of this pinkish light kind of color here. Okay, I'm thinking maybe a little bit of burnt umber into that. I just want to dull that just a little bit, the color itself. Okay, and let's get a little bit more white. Okay, something kind of like that. I like that. Okay, just a little bit of paint. Very, very little paint on the brush. And a dry natural bristle brush. That's the key. You don't want any water on this at all, or it'll just look like it's just kind of making this rough kind of look where the bristles cut through the paint instead of this nice soft blend of clouds. So super dry, very important. And I just kind of want to come in here and just kind of do this. You can see this cloud effect. It just automatically happens with these brushes. I love these brushes for this very reason right here. And I'll tell you what, I actually want it a little bit more pink than that. So I'm going to get a little bit more of this light magenta and titanium white to it. Okay, maybe a little bit of, let's see, yellow. There we go. Kind of this peachy pink. There we go. I like that right there. Okay, perfect. See, always adjusting colors. And you can see it's a slight different value. And that's what I want. This is right here what I want to do. Okay, however, we got some nice little clouds up there. I'm loving that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to wipe most of that paint off the brush. And without cleaning, I'm going to take some yellow and some orange. Okay, I got that magenta still in there. It's all good. Okay, a little bit of white. A little bit more white. Let's see, a little bit more yellow. Warm that up a little bit, make that show up better. Okay, I'm thinking like this. And of course, I want to change the value as I get into the orange values here. And yeah, just like that. I like it. Okay, have that show up. All right. So a little bit of clouds there kind of fading in, fading out. Now I want to get, let's see, some yellow without cleaning, and let's get some titanium white. Maybe a little bit of this orange in there, okay. A little bit brighter, a little bit more of this. I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush off. Okay, I have here a number 2 nylon flat brush. It's very beat up. As you can see here, this bristles are really gone. But here's the thing, don't throw out beat up brushes, because I'm going to use it to do some smaller area things as if it were a natural bristle brush, and it works really well just the same. And again, a dry brush. And I'm going to go into some of these clouds here, and I'm going to apply some shadowed areas to really pop those out of there and give them those 3D look effect there. So I'm going to go back into here with some of this for that cloud kind of color there. I'm going to take some raw umber, or sorry, burnt umber into that. Let's see, a little bit of violet and some of that. Okay, just kind of something darker like this. A little bit of paint, and just want to kind of go around maybe some of this like this. See this? Just kind of give some shadow in there. Okay, now I want to get some orange, a little bit of yellow again, some burnt umber into that orange and yellow. Okay, just kind of something a little bit darker again. And let's do it kind of like this. I'm going to take some red, and let's get some yellow. All right, maybe a little bit of orange. Okay, let's see. A little bit more orange. Maybe a little bit of white, not much. Okay, I'm going to go up and mix in some of this stuff that had the raw, or I'm sorry, the burnt umber into it. All right, something like that. Okay, again, very little paint, and I want to go down here. Okay, gonna get some really awesome sunset clouds happening here. Okay, no cleaning. I just want to take just some burnt umber. Okay, just a little bit. And I want to go down here for a little bit darker. What I'd like to do is take some of this yellow and I'll take some titanium white again to it. Something like that. Very little paint on the brush again. I want to outline this cloud right here. I want to really make like to take a little bit of burnt umber and some orange, maybe some yellow. Okay, I just kind of want to get some darker value here, just a little bit darker. Very little paint on the brush. I kind of want to come down here again with some of this darker orange. See that? Just a little bit of paint, and I can come around this and even knock some of this back just a little bit right here. And this is going to really help to show or make this cloud show up with that yellow really well. Okay, see? Always can change values. It's all good. And we play these around until we get them right. It's all good. This is what I love about acrylics. It's like a journey. It's an adventure. And I hope you guys are having a fun time on this journey. I hope you guys enjoy the process. Let me know in the comments how it's going. Any questions you have, anything you want to talk about. I think this should be totally super duper fun. It should really be something that you don't dread. It should be the opposite of dread. There's times where I just want to get away, and painting is a really good place to do that for me. I can get in here and create whatever I want. There's no stress. It's the opposite of stress for me. Because it's like, I don't know, I can take a problem, if there even is a problem. I don't even know if I want to call it that, honestly. But I can really come in here, and it makes me feel like I can change anything I want. And I have control to make and create, and it's fun. And I love it. It makes me feel like I can do anything in this world. And I really want to express that to you guys. That's why I always stress so much. Well, I don't like the word stress, but that's why I always kind of repeat myself and I say, you can cover anything up, and I say things like it's all good, because it is all good. And you don't have to live with anything in this world like you do in real life. When things are out of your control, you can come into this world and get away for a little bit and just come in here and just do what you want to do. Change something if you don't like it. Just like this. It's so easy. Look at this whole sky right here, this vast expanse, a few little brush strokes, and you can change it all up. Anything you want to do. Okay, scratching it in dry, all good. And it might be a little rough at first, that's okay. Okay, a little bit more of this orange, maybe some yellow to warm that up again. All right, and each layer, each time gets better, 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 better. Okay, so now we got some kind of cloud kind of stuff happening here. See that? Get that nice little darker stuff there. Maybe there was like a storm that brought the wave in. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush off. Now back to that yellow into some of that white that's already there. Because now this is really going to show up a lot better. See that? And of course, another coat, another layer makes it more vibrant and pop it even that much more, as you can see here. Layer upon layer. That's what it's all about. Okay, just some things, some really cool things. Okay, now what I'd like to do is like to take maybe just a little bit of burnt umber. Let's see, into that. Take some of this burnt umber. Okay, and I want to go in here and just kind of give these little cloud things. See this? Okay. Ain't it awesome? I love it. All right, let's see. Well, let's go with some of that in here even. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush again. Okay, a little bit of yellow here, just yellow with no white. And I want to go a little bit heavier in here. Wiping most of that paint off the brush, and I just want to get titanium white now. I really want to make this vibrant and super bright, so I'm going to go right up in here. Okay, and really make this pop out of here. A little bit of paint on the brush, and again, right here. I want this nice little faded off haze right here. Okay, just like that. What I'd like to do now, I want to take a little bit of orange and some yellow to that. Okay, no cleaning. Maybe a little bit of this little stuff in here that's got that burnt umber into that. Okay, just a little bit, and just kind of want to settle down some of this right here where the red's a little heavy. Okay, wiping most of that paint off the brush again. And I'm just taking titanium white again. Okay, and one thing I'd like to do is I want to take some yellow and some burnt umber, just a little bit. Maybe some raw umber into that. There we go. Just a little bit, okay? This darker value here, I want to separate in between this light value and this to kind of make this pop a little bit. So I want to go back to my number 8 natural round bristle brush again, because what I'd like to do is take a little bit of this light magenta. I'm going to take a little bit of yellow into that. Okay, so I'm looking for kind of this peachy color here. Let's get some titanium white. Okay, tap it, mix it, all that good stuff. Okay, something like that. And I'm just going to start filling this in. And I'm going to go back to my 3/4 angle brush here. I'm going to start just blocking in some general colors. And what I'd like to do, I'm going to take some violet. I'm going to take some raw umber to that and some titanium white. Okay, very light, dulled lavender color. Let me get some more raw umber into it. All right. I'm thinking more raw umber, more titanium white. Okay, something like that. And just going to start, let's see, blocking in this general stuff here. Going to sort of leave it like that. All right. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to take some phthalo blue without cleaning. And let's get some titanium white to that. Let's see. That's a good place to mix right here. Okay. Something like that. A nice blue color here. And let's see. I want to go up in here and just kind of do this kind of water thing. Water thing. I don't know. Is that a thing? Should I call it a water thing? All right. These little broken up lines, I'm using the edge of the corner of the angle brush here to kind of do these water things. And I'm gonna go like this. Okay, just kind of add that blue in there a little bit. Yeah, I want to bring this down. Let's see, just kind of dancing this here and there. What I like to do is I'm going to take some raw umber and some of this violet mixture that I made. Okay, and some more phthalo blue because that darkens it. Okay, I really want to get this darker kind of value like this gray value. I'd like to kind of work some of this in here, see like this. Just kind of playing that on top, breaking it up, kind of doing whatever. Okay, I don't know. Really messy, but it's all good. All right, we don't care. We do not care because we don't have to care. Okay, smoother lines right here as it comes in. All right, let's see. A little bit of that in here, maybe. I don't know. Okay, just getting this wave stuff happening here. Let's see, I'm going to go in with some of this value in here even. just to kind of add that shadow in there. Some of that right here. And I want to pay attention to my line. See, as it comes forward, it's more flat than up here in the wave. So I kind of want to keep this perspective in mind here as I do this. Yeah, I don't want to go too crazy and just kind of throw it wherever. I do want to have a bit of a ebb and flow here, you know, or if that's the right way to say it, of how the water's going to be, give it that realistic, you know, effect and everything. Okay, so just kind of throwing this in here. Always cover it up if it's not right. All good. Okay, see that? Boom, and then it just gives it that perspective. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean this now. I'm going to take some orange, and I'm going to take some raw umber now. I want to dull this orange down. I want to get just a little bit of titanium white. Okay, a little bit more titanium white. Okay, just kind of a dull orange. Some of this white has some yellow in it. That's cool. Let's warm it up with some of that. All right, I like that right there. That's some nice orange for the wave, for this part of the wave anyway. Again, I'm just blocking in color. I'll take that yellow again and just titanium white. Okay. Right in here where the sun's going to be really hitting the inside of the barrel here. Just brought a dropping into the barrel, cuz. Really just want to, let's see, grab some of this violet, magenta. Let's get some titanium white. Get a little raw umber. I want to dull this down. Okay. And let's get some more white. Boom. There we go. A nice light lavender like this. Okay. And I'm going to put that right here. I don't think I need to clean. I'm just going to, because it's just base color, I'm just going to take some more phthalo blue and let's get some white. Okay, something like that. I want to, let's see, kind of bring it to about right here, going this way. I don't want to bring it all the way over. I want to leave this open for another value. Okay, again, just blocking in. Okay, and I want to take some more of this lavender. The blue's already in there. I'm going to take some more raw umber to that. Okay, some more lavender. Let's go like that. Okay, right in here. Darker areas where the water is. Okay, and just kind of doing these things here. I don't know. Just some little water things. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush. Okay, let's get some raw umber. Let's get some red. I want to go back into this, but I want a reddish hue. So you can see it's a little different than this. It doesn't have that blue hue in there because I want to get into the warmer areas here where I want some of these shadows to be. Okay, and right here. I will say, because this is going to be some bokeh stuff a little bit here and there, like in this foreground area, I want to use this angle brush more up here for those crisp, sharp lines, especially with these water detail things. Okay. So just kind of getting those kind of established in that kind of way. Okay, now that I've got it pretty blocked in, I want to leave the surfer for last, just because I feel like he's more of a foreground kind of object, and as far as the painting goes, I don't want to have to redo him. So I'm going to go ahead and take my number 8 natural round bristle brush. I'm going to start doing some more things and working down. And what I'd like to do is take, again, some of that violet and magenta and some raw umber to dull that down, and a good scoop of titanium white. Okay, a little bit more titanium white. Okay, actually a little bit more magenta. I want it more on the pinkish side here. Okay, and more white. Let's get this more desaturated, I should say. Okay, brightening it up. Okay, something kind of like that. Wiping a lot of that paint off the brush. And what I'd like to do is kind of go in here and just kind of work this in. Kind of up here where it's getting lighter as it comes away from the wave here. And I'm going to tap like this. See this? Gives it that haze and that kind of ocean spray effect. Okay, I'm thinking something kind of like that. Just kind of getting this on there. And let's see, what I'd like to do now is I'd like to take just pure titanium white. And I want to tap, tap, tap. That opens up the bristles really well. And what I want to do is I want to create these little water things like this. See that? These little sprays. All right, just like that. Okay, see that? We're getting some details now going. getting some little details. And one thing I'd like to do too is I'd like to take a little bit of this lavender and raw umber together. Maybe some of that. Just a little bit darker. See that? I like to mix it right next to the values. That way I see the difference on the colors here so that I get on the canvas and I want it, the subtle change or dramatic change or whatever I want to do. Okay. And just a little bit of paint on the brush. And I want to go in here and just kind of lightly brush in just some shadow in this little haze up here. Okay, just a little bit here and there, not everywhere, as the motto goes. Letting these other values play together. Okay, and it's going to give it just this nice look to it. Okay, something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush. Now I just want to take just titanium white and maybe just a little bit of this. And I want to go and let's see, I want to go a little bit more of this, maybe a little bit more burnt umber into that, or sorry, raw umber into that. And I really want to go just kind of dabbing here, see, with the corner of the brush and making these little water things. See that? Okay, a little bit more of this violet and raw umber. I just want to take and okay, getting some things to happen now. Okay, now I'm just going to get some titanium white. And I just kind of want to go something like this. What I'd like to do now is take some yellow. It's got just a teeny bit of that orange in there, not much. Okay, just a little bit. Okay, I'm thinking something like that. And I want to outline these little sprays here. See that, like this? Just like that. Now I'm going to take a little orange, a little yellow, a little bit more vibrant color here. And I want to go back in here. No cleaning, just a little bit of red, a little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow. Okay, just a little bit. And kind of just want to go on the outside of this. And now I have a number 2 nylon flat brush, another number 2, say that fast, okay. And it's got more intact bristles, and it's gonna help me get more detailed on here. I wanna start really coming in here and doing some things, some really cool things. So I'm gonna take some of this magenta and some of this yellow, light magenta that is, okay? A little bit of titanium white for that kind of orangey, kind of peachy color. There we go. Totally what I want right there. Okay, and I want to start going in here and just sort of doing these little things here. See this? I'm going to start kind of chopping this up a little bit by putting this value on here. Okay, just kind of something like this. Getting some things to show up and happen in here. What starts to give the wave its everything. I'm going to make up a more vibrant color. I'm going to take some of this orange and let's just get some yellow into that. Maybe a teeny bit of burnt umber to that, just a tiny bit to dull it down a bit. Okay. Maybe a little bit of this magenta that kind of warms it up, makes it more vibrant a bit. Okay. Something like that. Again, my number 2 nylon flat brush with the bristles more intact. Okay, use whatever brush that is comfortable for you, that you prefer. And I'm just going to start, again, taking these up. I want hard, crisp lines. This is all in focus right here. And all the details that are going to be happening. Okay, kind of something like that. What I want to do over here, I want to go a little bit of red, a little bit of orange and yellow into that, just a bit. And I kind of want to go all right. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this brush off. And what I'd like to do now is take again some more of that violet, some blue, some raw umber for some darker value. Okay. And let's throw some darks in here. This is really going to contrast a lot of this stuff here. One thing I'd like to do now, I want to take again a little bit of orange and burnt umber and titanium white. I want to get a little bit more white into that. And I just want to pop some of this, little things here. Okay, now after cleaning my brush, same number 2 nylon intact bristle brush. Here I'm going to take some white and some yellow. All right, for that really vibrant stuff, got to have that poking through. And I really want to hit, let's see, some stuff like right in here. Let's see. Now I want to take some violet, some red, some raw and burnt umber. It's all good. Just something. Let's see. Kind of dark here. There we go. Something like that. It's got that reddish hue to it. And I want to kind of come in here and kind of do something like this. Get these dark values in here. Super important. Okay, see that? Just scratching some things in. Okay, and I want to add now a little bit more red to that. Okay, and right in here, the sun's going to be hitting it a little bit stronger. Some of these shadowed areas, so they're going to kind of come in a little bit red here on the reddish side. So see, just building it up. And now just picking up some of this orange here. Let's get some of this vibrant color in, and I'm going to start playing this value in. just going to take some more phthalo blue now and white. Okay. Let's see. A little bit more blue. There we go. And I kind of want to go right here again. I think a little bit more dark value now. A little bit of violet, a little bit of raw umber. Okay, and I want to fill in between right here actually. See, you can just knock back colors, change them. I'm going to go ahead and clean that brush. And let's see, I want to go a little bit more shadow stuff here. I want to go some more, let's see, a little bit of white into this. For that violet color that's dulled down. Okay, something maybe like that. I just feel like maybe I kind of want to get a little bit of this color in here. Okay, I just want to take a little bit of yellow and white. Okay, I just very, very light. And one more time. Just kind of want to hit this in the midst of this yellow here. And I also want to hit it right in here to make it really bright. I don't want to take over all that yellow though. Just want to give the illusion of light kind of zinging through. See, like that. And let's see, I want to go ahead now. I'm going to take some of this orange, burnt umber, a little yellow to warm it, and some titanium white. And I want to get some of this kind of going in here a little bit. See this? Like, kind of making these things here. Okay, just dance in the brush. I want to take now my script liner brush. Lots and lots of water. Very important on a script liner brush. You always want a lot of water. And I want to take some raw umber and a little orange and yellow. Okay. But mostly raw umber. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I want to go through it, turning it as I pull it to a point. Okay, nice sharp tip, loading the bristles super well this way. And I want to go in here and I want to start doing these little squiggly doos here. A little bit more water, a little bit more orange and yellow on this. Okay. Okay, something like this. Okay, and don't want to go quite as dark. Let me see, I'm going to go something like that. to go into some more of that burnt umber now. I want a little bit darker again. And I want to kind of do this sort of deal here where it's just I'm going to let that sit for now, and I'm going to work in there and kind of knock some things back a little bit, but I want to let it dry first before, so that I don't mix up a bunch of mud and all that while it's still wet. So all good, I don't care. Okay. All right, I'm going to take now some, with my beat up number 2 flat brush here, I'm going to take some raw umber and some of this violet, maybe a little bit of white. Okay, a little bit darker. I'm just going to kind of play this little shadow thing. And let's see, with this same brush, I'm going to go ahead back to that blue and phthalo blue and white. Okay, and just going to play some of this just here and there, not everywhere. I'm going to leave some of that darker blue in there to show through. And let's go back into some more of this light magenta, maybe a little bit of violet. Okay. Okay, something light, something cool. Now what I'd like to do, I'm going to go back to my 3/4 angle brush because I want to get precise little lines that I can streak in. And one thing I'd like to do for a vibrant orange is a little trick here. I can take some orange and some of this light magenta to it, and it really does something awesome. It gives me that nice vibrant orange. Okay, a little bit of white into that, maybe a little bit more orange. Okay, something like that. Something super vibrant. Okay, back to my intact number 2 nylon flat brush here. I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of color back onto this. I'm just going to get some yellow. Okay, and I want to sort of knock back some of this here. And I'm going to take some white and some yellow again. All right, now I want to fill our surfer in now, and I'm going to take some orange and some raw umber, maybe a little bit of red. Okay, I don't want to make him black as a silhouette because sun's hitting him and he has a little bit of this kind of sun color into him. So I'm just going to take the corner of the brush very carefully. And I recommend maybe an angle brush if you have one. Something with a really good edge intact. You want precision on this part. Okay, and all right, something like that. Okay. And one thing I'd like to do, I'm going to take a little raw umber and phthalo blue together. Essentially, that makes a black. I want a nice dark value here. And the reason is because I kind of want to hit them with some of this darker silhouette, but not all of them, because again, it's all about different value, changes. Gives it that realistic look to it. Okay, something like that. And see, by leaving some of it, it looks like the sun's kind of hitting off of him. And let's get his board to kind of look. I want to take some of this permanent red, some of this orange. Okay, and right here, I want to show some sun kind of hitting off them like that. See that? And let's see, let's get some more of that violet color here. Let's see, a little bit of violet, raw umber, and now let's get titanium white, a good little amount there. And got to show some whitewash happening, yeah? There we go, see that? Always got to have that. Okay, a little bit up in here. Okay, cleaning that brush. Now I just want to take some yellow and some titanium white. Really bright stuff here. And I just want to just kind of hit just some of this stuff here and there. Maybe something like that. Maybe. Okay, and I'd like to take some orange and some white. Okay, really start gleaming this thing up. If that's a thing, gleaming it. All right, let's see. Now what I want to do is just get a little bit of yellow and orange. Let's see. Do something like this. I just want to go over these yellows. Okay, and without cleaning, let's see, some violet, some blue, some raw umber. Okay. A little bit of yellow, a little bit of orange. Okay, just really light pressure with the brush, just doing those bokeh things here. Okay, I'm going to go around these yellow ones that I did here. I'm going to get a little bit of white into this. And I'm going to take now some yellow here. And I'm going to apply that in some places here. One thing I'd like to do again, I'd like to take some of this raw umber and this violet and this red. Okay, just kind of something like that. And I would like to kind of show the surfer, you know, again, reflecting off the water here. let's see. I'd like to take some titanium white and just yellow. Okay. Really want to sparkle these up now. Just right here in the middle. Okay, just like this. All right, with my script liner brush, lots of water and titanium white. Lots of titanium, or lots of water with that titanium white. I'm going to pull through as I turn it to a point. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sign, I think, right here. And I want to thank you so much for all of your watch time and support and following along. If you dig these lessons and you enjoy following along or just watching, please do me a favor and subscribe. That helps me to keep going and make these videos. They're a bit time consuming with the editing, especially, which takes longer than the painting, believe it or not. But I love it, and I love bringing these lessons to you guys, and I hope you guys did well and had fun most of all. Please let me know in the comments how you did, what your questions, thoughts, any comments you want to make, and I'll be happy to address anything and respond as best as I can. And with that, guys, I want to wish you well and happy painting to you.